live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening, coming to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahib. Let's take a look at the headlines. All arrangements have been finalized to celebrate the 77th Independence Day in a grand manner. National Television is the official media partner. GovPay facility is available as the preliminary stage of the public service digitalization. An immediate solution has been arranged for the container congestion in the customs. 7 members of the same family have been arrested in suspicion of the 3-member killing in Ambalam, Thota. Wildlife Conservation Department investigates whether a domestic dog was betrayed as a prey to a leopard in Vilpattu. 2 leading business giants bid farewell to the nation. President Trump imposes 25% tax for the goods imported from Canada and Mexico. We now move on to those and other stories in detail, taking a look at local news first. The 77th National Independence Day celebrations will be held at the Independence Square premises in Colombo tomorrow in a grand manner under the patronage of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. The theme of the Independence Day celebration is Let's Join National Renaissance. The Ministry of Public Administration, provincial councils and local government has taken measures to conduct the ceremony with the participation of more people and in a manner to minimize inconvenience to the general public with very low cost. The Independence Day parade this year has been restricted to 2,873 members of armed forces. It is significant that in comparison to the previous year, the number has been reduced by 1,511 members of armed forces. Armored vehicles of the 3 armed forces will not be utilized for this celebration. Last year, 19 aircrafts were utilized for the Independence Day celebrations. This year, it has been limited to 3 aircrafts. The Independence Day gun salute, which has been organized by the Sri Lankan Navy, will be held at 12 noon tomorrow at the Sea of Goldfish Green. National Television is the official broadcaster of the celebrations. Like in past years, the SLRC will live telecast the Independence Day celebrations from 7:45 a.m. tomorrow. The SLRC will also grant broadcast rights of the celebrations to other channels as well. SLRC is the official provider of the telecast and publications rights to electronic media institutions, websites, social media and newspapers as well. The all-night Pirit chanting ceremony held in concurrence with Independence Day was held last night at the Independence Square premises in Colombo. The almsgiving was held at the Gangarama temple at Hunapitiya in Colombo this morning. Prime Minister Dr. Harinyamarasuriya Surya and several others were present at the religious observances held there.
According to the police, a special traffic plan will be in operation around the roads of Independence Square tomorrow in connection with the 77th Day of Independence celebrations. A media meet in order to enlighten the public was held at the police media spokesman's office this morning. DIG Indika Hapukuda says that the members of the public attending the event should enter via Bauddha Mawata, where they will be undergoing security checks near the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises before entering and being directed to their seats. Arrangements have also been made to close the roads and restrict traffic. Steps have been taken in order to enable the general public continue their routing activities without any inconvenience. During the time of celebrations, vehicles will not be permitted to enter into the Premakirti Elvis Mawata from Bauddha Lokamawata via Torrington Junction. The same restriction will prevail from RFP Junction towards the Public Administration Ministry and towards the Vidya Mawata from Vijayarama Vidya Mawata Junction. Entry has been also stopped towards the Maitland Crescent from Independence Roundabout and Independence Avenue. Entrance has been restricted in the same manner from Standard Vijayasundara Mawata and Foundation Mawata Junction towards Independence Avenue. Entrance from Independence Roundabout towards Independence Square, Library Roundabout towards Horton Roundabout and Foundation Junction and Independence Avenue has been closed and vehicular traffic has been restricted.
As the initial step in the digitalization of government services, the GovPay digital payment platform will be launched by the government on February 7th. Accordingly, the launch ceremony will be held on the 7th of February under the patronage of President Anurukumara Dissanayaka. This platform is expected to streamline and modernize transactions conducted through government institutions, enabling seamless and secure transactions through an efficient digital system.
The temporary container terminal constructed at the Blumendal area was opened today. Well, the site is about 2.5 acres in extent. A congestion existed at the Colombo harbour during the past several weeks. About 300 containers had to be retained minimum for 3 days in order to clear them properly on a daily basis. The congestion became unmanageable due to this reason. President Anurukumara Dissanayaka, who intervened directly, appointed a cabinet subcommittee to find solutions. As per a decision taken by the committee, it has been decided to complete the work of 2.5 acres before the end of January out of 5 acres, which is located outside the port area at Blumendal land, and hand it over to the customs. Accordingly, the container terminal, which has been completed in a short period of time, was opened today. Chairman of the Ports Authority, Vice Admiral Sirimevan Ranasinghe, pointed out that it is expected that around 100 to 125 lorries would be able to be retained. This situation has been created during a discussion held under the President. Accordingly, the President suggested to construct a premises as quickly as possible in a place and a location that is available for the purpose. The President also stated that at least a part of the construction is to be completed by the end of January.
The Ministry of Finance has taken measures to set up a National Advisory Committee for Small and Medium-Scale Business Development. The aim of this move is to provide sustainable solutions for the problems faced by entrepreneurs in implementing the Parate law. The Advisory Committee is also entrusted with preparing guidelines to make policies needed to uplift the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs. The committee is comprised of 7 members representing various fields from the state sector. 7 other experts who are related to the relevant subjects will also be included in this committee. 3 members representing the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development and 1 member representing Industries and Entrepreneurship Development Ministry and 1 member from Trade and Cooperative Development Ministry are also added to the committee. 2 members from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and 7 other veteran experts in the relevant fields will also be named by the Ministry of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development.
3 persons have been assassinated last night at Alagoda West area in Ambalanthota. 5 brothers of the same family have been taken into custody in this connection. According to the police, the assassinations have been committed with sharp weapons when a conflict between 2 parties extended to a clash. The dead have been reported as persons of the age ranging from 39, 45 and 34 and are residents from Marmadilla area, Alagoda. A group consisting 6 or 8 persons has entered the residence of the deceased person and have assassinated 2 friends of him who were present there. Police also revealed that there has been an extensive argument between these 2 groups in the afternoon yesterday. Police media spokesman SSP Buddhika Manatunga says at a media briefing held in Colombo today that later, after consumption of liquor, the conflict has ended in the assassination of the 3 persons. Police media spokesman says that the police have identified 5 persons connected with the crime and 4 of them have been identified by names who were present on the scene of the crime. Another suspect has also been taken into custody in connection with aiding and abetting the crime. They have been interrogated. Out of them, the identified suspects have been 5 members and brothers of the same family. One of the suspects is a son of these brothers. Although it appears that this incident is connected to illicit liquor, further investigations are being carried out and stern action will be taken against the culprits.
Yohei Sasakawa, chairman of Nippon Foundation Japan, arrived in the island today from the Jaffna International Airport. The aim of his visit is to start a school renovation project in Jaffna. Yohei Sasakawa was warmly welcomed on arrival in the island. Sasakawa aims to renovate 95 schools damaged during the war. An amount of $9.9 million will be spent on the project, which is due to operate from March by the Nippon Foundation. He is also due to inspect several schools proposed to be renovated tomorrow. In the meantime, Ministry of Defence elaborates that President Anurukumara Dissanayake did not use aircrafts of Sri Lanka Air Force for his recent Jaffna tour. This has been mentioned in a statement issued by the Ministry of Defence explaining that a false report has been circulated in social media in this regard. The President toured Jaffna area on the 31st of last month. Social media carried reports that he utilized 3 aircrafts for his purpose. The Ministry of Defence emphasized that any aircraft belonging to Sri Lanka Air Force has not been used during this tour. The statement further indicates that President Anurukumara Dissanayake had used his official vehicle for his Jaffna tour.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, Vijitha Herath, had a telephone conversation that's with the Deputy Prime Minister and Union Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, U Thant Sway, today. Well, they discussed strengthening bilateral ties while addressing key concerns related to rescue of Sri Lankan nationals. The minister requested the urgent assistance of the Myanmar government to facilitate the early rescue and safe repatriation of 8 Sri Lankans who have been trafficked to the Mawadi area in Myanmar to work in the cybercrime centers. Minister Vijitha Herath expressed his appreciation to the government of Myanmar in this regard. Myanmar has assisted between 2022 and 2024, rescuing the repatriation of 91 Sri Lankans. The 2 ministers reaffirmed their commitment to strengthen the bilateral relations rooted for over 75 years of diplomatic ties along with strong people-to-people links.
Chief Sanganayaka designation for 2 provinces of Kalutara and Colombo of the Amarapura Mula Vanshika Mahanikaya was offered to the chief incumbent of Kaudaduwa Sri Nagarukkarama Temple in Vaskaduwa and 4 other temples. Venerable Vaskaduwa Dhamaramatissa Thera. The credentials were offered by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. The ceremony was held at the Sri Nagarukkarama Temple at Kauduwa, Nugagoda in Vaskaduwa under the patronage of Amarapura Mulavanshika Mahanikaya, Most Venerable Karagoda Oyangoda Maitri Murthy Nayaka Thera. Ministers Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa and Hiniduma Sunil Senavi were also present at this occasion. Senior Professor Sangha Tilakaratna was offered with the honorary title of Myanmar Maha Saddhamma Jyotika Daja and the High Fellowship of Ananda Kumaraswamy of Bharat. The titles were offered under the patronage of Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Nikaya, Agga Mahapandita Most Venerable Makulave Sri Vimalanayaka Thera. The ceremony was held at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa were also present at this occasion.
Well, according to the Coconut Development Authority, the prices have gone up in the market due to a decrease in the yield during the off-season. Shanta Ranatunga, that's the chairman of the authority, pointed out that a shortage of 200 million nuts has arisen in the first 4 months of this year. Chairman of the Coconut Development Authority, Shanta Ranatunga, explained that the reduction of the yield of coconut, according to the forecast of the Coconut Research Institute during the 4 months of January, February, March and April, has been around 200 million nuts. Due to this reason, the high demand from the consumers, the price of coconut has gone up. In order to control the increasing prices, a cabinet paper permitting the import of raw materials required by coconut industries like coconut kernels, coconut milk powder and desiccated coconut will be presented during this week. Through this, it is expected to ensure that unnecessary demand for coconuts from coconut factories will not arise, as well as to prevent the increase of coconut prices. These items will be imported for the purpose of exporting only and will be imported under the scheme named TEEP scheme, and these products will not be made available in the local market at any cost.
Moving on to more local stories, the Department of Wildlife Conservation clarified that the recent encounter between a dog and a tiger inside the Vilpattu National Park was not caused by a domestic pet being brought into the park by a tourist guide or any other party.
In fact, the Department of Wildlife Conservation issued a statement following an investigation triggered by a viral video showing the interaction, which raised concerns about whether dogs were being used to attract leopards for the benefit of tourists. This video was circulating on many social media platforms, triggering a public outcry. There was a suggestion by many parties that a domestic dog cannot be seen deep inside a wildlife park, and it was brought by a tourist guide or a safari jeep driver to draw attention of the tigers. There were many social media reports related to the incident. The Department of Wildlife Conservation immediately launched an investigation and clarified that the accusations were baseless. Wildlife officials were able to find the lucky dog, who was miraculously saved following a violent clash with a tiger. The dog had been identified as a guard dog belonging to a farmer in Randagama in Huluvilagama, an adjoining village of the Vilpattu National Park. The farmer says that he allows the dog to roam freely to protect his cultivation. According to the department, the owner noticed the dog missing on the day of the incident, but said that it had returned the following day. Wildlife officials inspected the area and confirmed the dog's presence at the owner's plot. The Department of Wildlife Conservation said the dog was at the plot with minor injuries visible on its body. CCTV footage showed no evidence of domestic animals being smuggled into the park on the day of the incident. Statements recorded from wildlife officers and individuals accused on social media revealed no inconsistencies. Safari jeep driver Lahiru Disanayaka says that those who have visited national parks very well know that it is impossible to take a dog into the national park. CCTV cameras have been fixed at the main entrance of the Vilpattu National Park. He said that officials of the Department of Wildlife Conservation properly check all vehicles before they enter into the park. In this backdrop, some facts about the relevant leopard should also be stated. Wildlife Fans has named this tiger as Neluma, that is roaming around the Nelumbilla area in Vilpattu Park. Neluma was first reported in 2016 as a herd with 2 or more female tigers. The 9-year-old tiger is a popular tiger among the visitors as it is familiar to the safari vehicles. This tiger is easily visible for many tourists entering the Vilpattu Park. It is doubtful whether pre-planned strategies are needed to visit such a friendly animal. The tiger Neluma can be easily viewed by anyone who visits the Vilpattu National Park these days.
Food Commissioner Upul Shantha De Silva says that future action is due to be taken regarding the food stocks lying in a storage at Veyangoda after importing to this country during previous years. He made these comments in issuing a special statement to the media. As per the recommendations issued by the Government Analyst and Health Department, these foods are not fit for human consumption. Food Commissioner Upul Shantha De Silva observed that the Food Department had provided a free-cost storage facility at Veyangoda to store food imported by World Food Organization. Around 1,623 metric tons of food, including rice, dal and edible oil, have been stagnating in the stores from 2022. This process has been going on from 2022, and in 2024, during a quality inspection conducted in this regard and a report released by the Government Analyst and Health Department, it was decided that these items are fit for distribution. Later on, the report has been issued to the Secretary of the Ministry of Rural Development, which is the new ministry responsible for the purpose by the Secretary of the Ministry of Health in the month of January. According to this report, it has been decided that the food items were not fit for human consumption. It has also been informed that further action will be taken in this respect after informing the Food Department about the food items provided by Rural Development, Social Security, Community Empowering Ministry and the WFO.
Attention has been focused to renovate the post office building located in the Galle Fort premises. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa made an inspection visit to this premises recently before this decision was taken. The post office in Galle is considered as one of the 5 post offices opened in the country for the first time, and it has been constructed during the Dutch period. The minister pointed out that if this premises is used for a fruitful purpose, this will add significant value for Sri Lanka's postal service, and it may lead to an additional income to the department. The minister instructed the relevant officials to develop this premises as a place of archaeological value in order to attract local and foreign tourists. Galle District Parliamentarian Nishantha Samarveera, officials of the Postal Department and many others joined in this inspection tour.
A prominent businessman of Sri Lanka, Deshamania Harry Jayawardena, has passed away. He has been ailing for some time and was aged 82 years at the time of his demise. Don Harold Stasson Jayawardena, alias Harry Jayawardena, was born on the 17th of August 1942 in Jayala. Harry Jayawardena, who entered the list as a richest person of Sri Lanka in 2008, has also been Consul General in Denmark. A famous industrialist and a talented businessman, Harry Jayawardena held a chairmanship of Melstar Corporation plc, Distilleries Sri Lanka plc, Lanka Bell and Aitken Spence plc at the time of his demise. The first Sri Lankan chairman of John Keel's group of companies, Deshamania Ken Balendra, has also passed away at the age of 84. Ken Balendra has been the chairman of all affiliated companies when he was the chairman of John Keel's group. He has also held the chairmanship and director posts of several companies, including Ceylon Tobacco Company, Brandex and Union Assurance. Ken Balendra was a former chairman of Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce from 1998 to 2000. He was an old boy of Royal College, Colombo. Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka says that the registration of Voters Register 2025 is being further carried out. At a press briefing held at the Government Information Department today, he stressed that in the process of counting the number of voters this year, special attention will be focused on youth and women. Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka said that the local government polls are to be conducted within this year. Meanwhile, the quota allocated by the Jayathilaka Commission for youth members has been missed due to a certain reason. He said that therefore, under the new Act passed in 2023, a quota of 25% should be allocated for youth members. Accordingly, this election will be the first election that will be conducted under the new Act. He added that therefore, in counting the number of voters, special attention will be focused for the youth and women. Additional Election Commissioner Rasika Piri said that if any voter's name is not included in the voters register for 2024, they have the opportunity at present to get their names included in the 2025 voters register. If any person's address has been changed this year, they will also have the opportunity to get their name added in the new voters register. He said that in addition, if anyone's name is included in the 2025 register, no need to fill the new forms unless they want any amendment. Well, that's it on local stories. We'll be back with news overseas. news, US President Donald Trump is set to hold talks with the leaders of Canada, Mexico to discuss the punishing tariffs he is imposing on the neighboring countries as well as China.
Donald Trump said that 25% on Canadian and Mexican imports as well as an additional 10% tax on Chinese goods would come into force from tomorrow onwards. The US President said that the move was in response to his concerns regarding the illegal immigration and drugs. In response, both Canada and Mexico are set to impose retaliatory tariff, while China will implement corresponding countermeasures and plans to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization. The US President further said that he will discuss with Mexican and Canadian leaders regarding this today.
Moving on to sports news now. Former South African super cricketer Jonty Rhodes arrived in the island early morning today.
And if you recall, he's a very entertaining cricketer. And he says that he has stated that he's arrived in Sri Lanka in order to start a special project. Jonty Rhodes arrived in the island at 5:25 a.m. from Mumbai, India, in a UL-148 flight from that's Sri Lankan Airlines, and he represented the national cricket team of South Africa from 1992 to 2003, and he has been regarded as a specialist fielder. Jonty Rhodes has been once the fielding coach for the Sri Lanka cricket team as well.
Everyone, I'm Jonty Rhodes. Great to be back in Colombo. My family and I were here over Christmas and New Year. We love coming back. There's a bit of cricket going on. Sri Lankan team are having they're up and down like cricket does all the time. It's good to see that cricket is so positive here in Sri Lanka. And as a coach, always excited by young players. And I think that's one thing that Sri Lanka has in abundance, is that they have these brave young players who keep coming onto the scene. So great to see some performances, and it's awesome to be here and looking forward to my stay. Sure. And this time around there's not much cricket for Jonty Rhodes. I'm here to do something, but I'm going to keep it a little bit, lips are sealed, because it's going to be awesome and I can't wait to be involved. But wait and see, it's coming soon.
It's been a long time since we saw him on the field. And on that note, we're going to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Sheriff. This is Clifford, wishing you a good night.
Good night.